Hello everyone, welcome and thank you so much for joining our webinar today about automated energy forecasting. We're really excited to be with you. My name is Nicole. I am the energy editor at Dexma on the marketing team, and I'm joined by my colleague Danny. He's our product director, superstar, and we're so excited to show you and introduce our energy forecasting app to you. So here's what we'll start by giving you an introduction about Dexma. I'll talk a little bit about us in case you don't know what we're about. Then Danny will introduce the concept of automated energy budgeting and forecasting, just to tell you a little bit more about it.
That's beautiful.
And then we're going to show you what everybody's waiting for, the fantastic demo of the app that we have, and it's great. Then we'll have some time for questions at the end. You see this chat box here in the webinar? You can put your questions during the entire session and we'll get to them at the end. Hopefully we get lots of nice questions and we're excited to answer them for you.
Excellent.
Okay, let's get started. So we are Dexma. We are an energy management software company and we make SaaS-based, cloud, web-based energy management analytics software. And that software is used by corporate, commercial, public administration, and industrial buildings. Our software is hardware neutral, so that's great. That means lots of different types of meters and sensors and devices can be compatible with Dexel. And the aim of our software is to reduce energy use and cost. And how do we do that? It's through the continuous multi-site monitoring, analytics, alarms, reports, awareness and control. And all of that is customizable based on the type of user. And so we're going to show you just what that means, what kind of buildings are using our software, and you'll see later on the global footprint that it has.
Mm-hmm.
We're really proud that some prominent research companies have mentioned us and have written about us and our software. Names you might have heard of, like Navigant Research, Verdantix, have mentioned us in their studies, so we recommend you go check them out to get a third opinion.
Exactly.
Because we're a bit biased, as you can imagine. And also, we're getting really great reviews on different review sites, like Capterra is a really famous one for business software, and we're the #1 energy management suite on that review site. So go check us out, see what other people have to say, and if you have experience using Dexel, like, give us a review. We love to hear from you. We love reviews. So here's, we're very proud that we have so many different types of industries using our software. You can see just how wide the scope is, all different kinds, from museums to universities to banks, energy companies. It's not just limited to energy, as you can see here. Dexel is running in the background of all different kinds of companies. We have over 1,000 active customers around the world. And that's growing really fast. It's something we're really proud of. And yeah, you can visit the British Museum and know that the energy in there is managed by our software. We're really proud of that. And here's our global footprint. So you can see that our global partner network is worldwide. We have partners in every continent, basically. And to join our partner network is really easy, and we'll tell you a little bit more about how to get involved if that's something you're interested in. It's a great community. Our partners are our greatest pride, and we look forward to working with you if you're interested in joining. So the Dexma vision has 3 very important parts. The first is detect. What does it mean? Detect is when you want to realize what's going on with the energy consumption in your buildings, whether it's 1 or 100 buildings. When you upload that data to Dexel, you're detecting, okay, where are the peaks, what's happening? It's to have a global view of your energy consumption. So that's the very first step, and that's the monitoring part. What's more important for today's webinar is the second step, which is to analyze. Analysis means taking the information that comes from the detect stage and making it actionable, making that information useful. And that's where the forecasting app is going to come in. We're going to show you how forecasting is an example of analysis, which then can lead to actionable steps to control and optimize your energy consumption. We do also have tools for that, but today we're going to focus on the analysis part of energy management. And lastly, I want to show you, as part of the introduction, some of the differentiating factors, why companies, why energy services companies, and anyone would choose Dexma over the rest. So in every EMS, whether it's cloud, whether it's on-premise, if you don't know the difference, you should check out our blog because there's a post that explains all about that. All of them have dashboards, reports. Most of them are web-based, hardware agnostic, okay, multi-user without charging. These are kind of the standard, this is the standard package that energy management systems have, and the market has come to expect. What makes Dexma different and standing out is the fact that our data acquisition is unparalleled with more than 150 hardware integrations. That comes from 10 years of integrating all kinds of hardware, and our capacity for integration is growing every single day. We have advanced features that a lot of EMS systems don't have, like measurement and verification, custom reporting, our Energy Apps Market, which is great if you have an idea for an app that you want to use to extend the features of Dexma, you can develop it and put it on our Apps Market, or you can tell us about it and we can help you develop it. And of course, the forecasting app that we're going to talk about today. It really sets us apart because a lot of EMS companies don't have this yet. Speed is another thing that really puts us ahead of the pack. The average page load in our software is only 86th of a second, and it's going to save you a lot of time when you're analyzing your energy consumption, because we know that you don't have time to lose when it comes to that. And finally, the reliability and scalability of our software is something that really puts us ahead, and it's what we're known for. So, you've all been waiting to hear more about forecasting. You probably have a lot of questions about it already, and I do too. So the way this is going to work is I have Danny here with me now.
Hello, how are you guys?
There he is. We're going to ask a few questions to get to know the concept first of automated energy forecasting, what it's all about. So the first question I have is, Danny, what is the kind of profile of an energy manager or anyone in a company? Who's in the company is actually worried about forecasting, and why?
Yeah, thanks for having that webinar to explain the forecasting. That's the new feature that we want to launch today. Yeah, so basically it's two kind of profiles in your company that should be worried about forecasting. The first one, well, I have two slides here for this, right? So first one, it's an energy consultant. Okay. That it's working under an ESCO project, and he's worried because his company, so the ESCO, is sharing the savings with the end customer, right? Based on a baseline and based on a particular targets that they are setting. So he's worried because he wants to know for the future how much energy he's going to save.
Right.
And if he sees that the target is not going to be accomplished, then you can decide and make kind of actions on your customer to keep saving that energy and keep getting your money and your bonus as well.
Exactly.
Right?
His bonus is probably depending on that. So?
Probably, yeah. Right. So for him, it's crucial to forecast future energy consumption in order to track the project's success.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's for the energy consultant. But it's another one here that it's the financial controller, right? That he's as well worried about to create the budget for the energy, especially during the last part of the year, as we are right now. So now it's November. So for that point in time, the financial controllers and the CFOs have to prepare the budget for the energy for next year.
Right. And they need something to go on. They really don't have information if they don't have forecasts.
Exactly. So how do I forecast this, right? So what kind of tools do I can use?
Okay.
So now what we tell you is that you can use the tool that it's built in top of our platform, in top of our Dexel platform, to save you a lot of time and to have accurate forecasts.
So these will be the happiest guys about the forecasting.
We hope so.
We hope so. Vincent and Stefano. Okay.
Okay.
So these guys are worried about the future, of course, but okay, how are they actually supposed to predict it? It's not like they have, you know, some kind of magic power, so...
Yeah, well, in fact, that's right. So, I mean, with that slide, what I would like to explain to people is that nobody has like the crystal ball.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to predict the future, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. What we are trying here is to put in place different tools, statistical tools, advanced statistical tools to help you doing that.
Okay. So it's like approximating the crystal ball, but not exactly.
Exactly. Right. So for instance, in many companies with many partners that I've been talking to in order to develop this new feature, mm-hmm. They were explaining me which approaches were they using to calculate the forecasting, mm-hmm. right? And basically, you can use the basic approaches that are simple but are good enough depending on the kind of projects that you are targeting, right? As the average consumption, right? So what you can do to calculate a forecast is to take a previous historical data and calculate the average. And this is a flat rate, a flat consumption during the following month, okay? It can be useful for a particular project, okay? But it doesn't take the variability or the seasonability.
Right, it's just like a straight line. That's
exactly. It's very simple, mm-hmm. but it could work, okay? And then the other one is to use the approach of using same period of consumption for last year plus minus an hypothetical percentage, okay? And that's that case, for instance. Okay, so you take the same shape that you had, mm-hmm. but then again, what happens if the temperature is different for next year than the previous year? That probably will be, right? Or what happens if you're been investing a lot of money to make kind of savings, and then that previous consumption it's not
representative.
Exactly, and anymore, right?
Right.
So those are the main problems. Not because our partners, it doesn't just control one building. They have hundreds of buildings.
They could have hundreds.
So they deserve a tool that automatically could calculate all of this. Okay.
That's very true.
So if we move from the basic to the advanced approaches, then we have two different approaches.
Okay.
First one, it's polynomial regressions. Energy managers love about polynomials, okay, because there's a formula there, and you can then use it to calculate other things. The problem here, as I will explain you right now, is that with the polynomial we have a finite number of maximums and minimums that we can track, and the polynomial it doesn't really fix correct, right?
Can you show me what you mean?
Yeah, I have an Excel spreadsheet for that. So maybe we can move it to the Excel spreadsheet. Right, so here I have the last 24 days of November. Okay, so today it's 24th of November. So this is the representation in Excel spreadsheet, right? So if I want to calculate the polynomial, what we do typically is to go here at this line. Okay, perfect. Let me maybe put it like this. Okay. That's the point. So then I click here, and that line will be like the simplest line that you can calculate.
Like the line of best fit.
Exactly. But in that point, what we have is just simple polynomial of grade equals to 1. Okay, so it doesn't really fit you anything here. What we can do is try to make a different polynomial and increment the order of the polynomial, right? So as much orders as we have, normally you could represent more maximums and minimums. Okay,
so the line fits a bit better.
Exactly, but for each day or for each week, I should have at least 2 numbers. So for 24 days, I should have like 12 or 15. So could you imagine how complex comes the formula?
That's a crazy amount of numbers.
Exactly. And if you have to do it for every single building that you have, for every single month that you have, or every single year, then it's something that you can do it right now.
I think you're talking about big data, literally.
Exactly. So our approach was not to go by formula.
Okay.
So not to use polynomial regressions, but to use something pretty much advanced, which is called time series. Time series. It's a mathematical way to calculate forecast, but forecast based on periodicity and on variability. So for series that they really have that kind of variability in place. Okay, So it's the best approach to do what we want to do, forecasting. And those are examples, for instance, of a daily model. Okay, so the real consumption is shown here in dots, and we have the model in red and the model plus the temperature in green, and the real consumption is in black, I think, and then we have different models approaches. But you can see that the model really fits the weekends, for instance, or the peaks that we have on Mondays normally.
Yeah, you can really see it.
So it works fine. And what it's more important is that the model really fits the difference between the colder months and the warmer months.
Right.
Okay, so it's not using just a simple average. Then we have other predictions like the weekly prediction. Okay, in that case, the model is in black. And no, the consumption is in black and the model is in red.
The model is in red. Okay.
In blue, we have the confidence interval. Okay.
What does it mean, a confidence interval?
Yeah, it means that, for example, in that case, it's a confidence interval of 95%. So we have a 95% of probability that the forecasting will be for sure between those blue dots.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the confidence interval.
Cool.
Right? But we have the daily prediction, the weekly prediction, or we can go to a monthly prediction as well. So time series, it's very easy because with the same model, you can work with different kind of variability and then use it for summaries. So for instance, for the daily consumption, for the weekly consumption, or for the monthly consumption.
That must be easier for people who need to make estimations based on time, no? Based on months or years.
So. Yeah, so very, very easy with our application. You can change directly from different frequencies.
Great.
Okay? So that's what we're earning from that.
Okay, but why is time series the best option for forecasting?
Yeah.
I mean, I sort of get it, but can you explain why it's better, for example?
Yeah, I've put here like different points, bullet points. So for instance, the first one is that it's adaptive to variability and seasonality. Okay. So we could have a model that it's really adaptive for the different periods of the week. So for the weekends or for Mondays, for instance.
Right.
But as well for seasonality. So your building doesn't consume the same during summer than during winter.
Okay.
Right, so it doesn't make sense to have an average consumption and then forecast this.
The basic approach wouldn't work for that.
It wouldn't work. Then what is really powerful for that and for our tool is that you can have models with more than one variable. Okay, so that means that your consumption probably is not defined just by yourself, but as well for external parameters such as temperature, such as the number of people that eat inside. Just for a hotel, for instance, how much bucket rooms are a particular day, or for an industry, so how much they are going to produce during next month.
Is there a limit to the number of variables?
No.
Wow.
So what it's cool is that the partner or the end customer can just fill with many variables as you have into the project, and then the system itself detects and takes out the variables that are not important for the model.
So cool.
Then we can use different algorithms depending on the forecast. So we have two different forecasts. The one is for short-term forecast, that it's from the day that we are until the end of this month. Okay. So we used that particular model for that particular period of time. But then as people, as Stefano and the other guys wanted to have forecast for a long-term, 12 months forecast, this is different, so we use a different model for that.
And that's all. That could all be in the same app. They don't have to change.
Exactly. So it depends on the number, on the day that we are forecasting, we use one model or another one. Great. So we have that possibility to work with two models at the same time.
Does it matter what kind of company they're working in? Is this better forecasting for a certain industry or?
Exactly. That was another problem, that we have 26 different activities in Dextel, right? From universities to industries, going through, I don't know, to sport equipment.
And their energy consumption is super different.
It's totally different. So what we wanted to develop is an application that even taking care of the pattern of the customer, the app could respond more or less with the same accuracy.
So they can all use it?
They can all use it, exactly.
That's great.
Then the every day that we have more historical data, the application needs to improve and the models improve, so they learn.
They learn by themselves.
By themselves, exactly. Every day the models are calculated again. Mm-hmm. So if you start with 6 months historical data, when you have 7 months, then the model will get that feedback as well.
Okay.
And if you are saving energy, the model will as well adjust to that.
So the more data you have, the more accurate your forecast will be.
Exactly. And then just to explain to the audience that the model is based on previous data, mm-hmm. but taking into account the hour of the day of the week, the month of the year, holidays, and your consumption pattern.
Wow.
So that means, for instance, if now it's 3:15, mm-hmm. for calculating the hourly consumption for that hour, the system is taking all the hours from 2 to 3 o'clock,
right?
Or to 3 to 4 o'clock, sorry, for all the Thursdays, okay? So that's how it works. So he's taking exactly the information that he's needing to make the forecasting as more accurate as possible. This is almost impossible doing it manually or with Excel spreadsheets.
Okay. Right? So, okay, I think I understand now what it means forecasting and why time series is the best choice, but now I want to understand how it actually works with our software. I want to see it in Dexel. So
yeah, it's been a long track till here, right? Because we had the idea, we had many partners getting us the feedback, hey Daniel, I want to forecast, I want to forecast. Yeah, but how? Or which variables would you like to use with? Mm-hmm. So it's been a long period of time until we arrived here. And basically, it's as easy as going to the market icon.
Okay, that the Energy Apps market.
Exactly, the Energy Apps market that our customers has into their account. Here we publish, or third-party developers are publishing their own applications to extend the software capabilities, very easy. And they just need to go here to the forecasting application and install it.
And it's free.
It's free.
Wow.
So it generates just data points for the forecasting. Okay, so it's free, and it generates 1 data point per forecast.
And I can decide how many forecasts I want.
You can decide, exactly. But then you can use the forecast to make an alert or to make a custom report, right? So the forecast, it's a parameter inside your account, and you can use it for whatever you want.
Great.
Okay. Yeah, so as a global overview, right? So the description of the application is very simple. So it's forecast consumption based on predictive model, showing expected consumption by the end of a given period, right? So it's the aim of it. Okay. As a benefit, we have multiple. Okay. So for the first one, it's calculate how much you're going to consume for a particular date range. Okay.
Always useful to know.
Exactly. Compare your forecast to establish goals, targets, and budgets, right? So that was a very important feature for many of our customers.
That's right. And I imagine our friend Stefano would really want to compare that to his budget.
So if you're an ESCO, it's fine to compare with our measurement and verification projects, how much energy you are consuming for the past. So far the project, how is it going? But as well, it's important to know what will happen in the future.
Of course.
Right? So with the forecasting, if you are an ESCO, now in Dexel you have both ways. You have the past way and the future way. Okay? You can switch from consumption to cost. So this is very important as well for the CFOs, guys.
Right. So if I just want to see the cost forecast,
exactly. So how much cost will produce by the end of or will I have by the end of the year or by the end of the quarter?
But are we just talking about electricity here? Like how many sources are we talking
That's
about?
Fine. No, we can use the application, or you can forecast for any source that is available in the Dexel Energy Manager. So that's electricity, that's gas, that's water, that's thermal energy, very important. And we have another webinar next week.
That's right. No, on the 1st of December, about
exactly.
Gas optimization.
Exactly. So thermal for cooling, thermal for heating. So we have multiple.
But I have a question. I remember you said that the app removes the variables that it realizes are not important. Exactly. But what if I already know that, I thought I wanted this variable, but now I don't anymore? Is it too late?
Yeah, no. I mean, the model is calculated every day. Okay, so every day the model is based on the variables that are put inside by the customer. what can happen is that, okay, so I had, I don't know, external weather temperature inside the model, and I am taking it out.
Yes.
Okay. What I can do is to recalculate the model on demand as well.
Really?
Okay? Yeah. So that's fair.
And I can start using the forecasting app already on the 1st of December.
Yeah, so the forecasting app is actually available right now, but the statistical engine will be finally connected on 1st of December.
Okay.
Okay, so we are just finishing the last tests, as I would show it today into the demo account.
Okay.
But for everybody will be available at the 1st of December this year. So in 1 week.
Calendars for the webinar and for the app.
Exactly. So more things that with the application. Well, the forecast is available for all energy sources. What about the historical data,
yeah,
right?
How much data do I need to start with this?
The fact is, as much data you have, better it is, right?
But what's the minimum?
The minimum is right 1 month. Okay. So if you don't even have 1 month of data, what I should forecast? I mean,
exactly. You need to start somewhere.
The optimal starts at 18 months or more.
Okay.
Okay. The app every day we try to get the last 2 years of information, so last 24 months. Okay. But if you have at least 18 months, then it's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Then it's accurate. Then it's multivariable. That's so important. So you can add your consumption or the consumption of your HVAC, even if you have a submetering of that. HVAC for sure that will impact in the overall consumption, right?
Definitely.
So you can introduce that variable into the model. If it's not relevant, then the system itself will take it. Who's that?
Remove it.
Remove it, exactly. And then we have, this is so important as well, a data preprocessing layer. So during our test, we saw that hardware isn't perfect, right? And we have some peaks or zeros or blanks or corrupt data at the end. So we have prepared a preprocessing layer that takes out all the different outliers or blanks and makes data interpolation.
So it cleans the data a bit.
It cleans the data, yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And then we have the 2 models, short-term and long-term model.
So that's like if 1 month or in terms of...
End of the year or for next 12 years, nice. 12 months in fact, okay. The forecasts are calculated daily at 3 GMT, okay, so for all over the world.
So no matter where I am in the world, that's what time it's
exactly.
calculate.
It's 3 GMT, and we are taking info for last 2 years. Forecast is calculating for next 12 months. Calculation resolution, it's hourly. Okay, and this is because we have to calculate then the cost from that to switch from consumption to cost, and we need hourly data. But the visualization resolution is daily, weekly, or monthly. Okay, so our customers, so Stefano and Vincent, could see the daily forecast, weekly or monthly. Okay. What it's cool is that you can configure up to 5 different baselines as well. And those could be scenarios, saving scenarios, or your budget, or your Horizon 2020 forecast, or whatever you want to do.
So if I need to set some kind of target based on, 2020 goal, I can just put that in there and see if I'm going to make it.
As a baseline, and then you can compare with your forecast. So not with the information that you have it right now, that this is with measurement and verification projects inside the tool, but to forecast your consumption. And then as well convert from kilowatt hours to cost, okay? So let's see it in action.
I want to see it in action. This is so exciting.
Let's move it again from the PowerPoint to the Dexel, okay? No, that's that one. Good. So everything that I'm going to do, you can do it afterward from your desk or from your office, okay, Nicole, and as well to all of our audience. So you just need to go to www.dexmatech.com and then click there into the demo button, right?
So even if I don't have Dexel yet, I can try out the forecasting and with the demo.
Absolutely, yeah. So and as when you just log into the platform, then if we go to corporate buildings demonstration, okay, this is our platform, right? And this is a project where we have multiple buildings all over the world. Okay. So we have 21 different buildings, okay? And we want to focus today into the forecasting tool,
right?
Okay. Dexel is very simple. So you have different pillars. You have the dashboard section, analysis, reports, and alerts. And you have the settings area here where you can configure almost everything. What I would show you today is that, okay, so if you click into the market, then you can install or uninstall. So now it's installed, okay? So this is the application that you have to install it, the forecasting app.
Okay.
Okay. Once this is installed, then you have two new options in your menu. The first one is into the settings, because we first have to create the models. Okay. And then we could analyze the models results. Okay. So if we click on the forecasting for the configuration, here is where you have all the different models.
I see.
Okay. If you want to create a new model, you just need to click on new, select the building where you want to create it. Okay. So imagine that I want to create the Lisbon building forecasting. Select which device do you want to have and which is the output, right? So if the main load, for instance, is for gas and electricity, I would have here two different sources, one for gas and one for electricity. In that case, what I want to use is the active energy. Okay. So I click on save, and the active model is here. It's for Lisbon building, and it's active. If I want to inactive the model, I just click here and put it inactive. That's all I need to do. Okay.
And then it stops showing up in the visualization.
Exactly. So if I want to inactive again, it's active, okay? And here I have the link to edit model, okay? By default, we are getting two variables. So by default, when you're creating the model, we always get your self-consumption. So this is the main load to get the historical information. And as well, the associated external temperature, because we've seen that the temperature normally is very relevant. So instead of being the user to go here and add the variable,
it's automatically there.
By default add those two variables. Okay. Then in case that you have different variables that you want to add, so you have the production or you have whatever, you can add as many variables as you want. So you just need to select which building has it, which is the device, for instance, and which parameter, right? So if it's humidity, for instance, right? So you could add as many variables as you want. The system then every day will take the decision if the variables are relevant to consumption or not.
Right. Okay.
If they are, they will keep it. If they aren't, they won't. Well, he won't remove it from that list, but he won't use it.
Okay.
Okay.
But I can remove these if I want to.
Exactly. So you, both the customer or the system, will decide on this. Okay. But what it's great is that it's flexible, so you can take the control of it. Okay. So once we have this, for instance, I would like to use right now the Brussels building. The Brussels building, we have a model, again, with the main load and the external temperature. Okay. This is very simple. Then what about the baselines? Okay, so I've been explaining you that you can configure different baselines, right?
Up to 5.
Up to 5 baselines, right? So this is the baseline form, right? So far, it's very simple. So you can add consumption value per month, okay? But we will be enhancing this to allow people to add like previous consumptions or polynomial, even if you want it, right? Or take the same consumption last year minus 15% as target, not as forecast, but as goal. Yeah,
the baseline.
Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, but so far it's very, very simple. So you can configure your different things. I have a budget for 2016, the conversion for currency units to kilowatt hours, so that's cents of euros. Then I have another baseline, goals Horizon 2020 for 2017. So how I should be taking out my energy consumption, right? So how it should be going. And then I have another one, which is this scenario B. Okay.
What scenario B?
Well, it's a different scenario of my energy consumption, but it's set to 1, so it doesn't make sense to show it. But I mean,
but you can create whatever you want.
Exactly. So any single customer can create up to 5 different baselines. Okay. Cool. And use it with the naming inside his company.
Okay.
Okay. Good. So this is about the configuration. So it's very, very simple. You just need to create the models and then edit the models in case you want it, or edit the baselines. Okay. Once you have it right, then it's as simple as going to analysis and then clicking to forecasting, right? So we have this application, which is the forecasting. I would take the Brussels building, and I would like to have the forecasting just for November. Okay. November. And if I update, okay, so here we have it. So this is,
we're almost at the end of the month. So
exactly. So this is my existing consumption.
I see.
And that's the forecast that I have projected for next days.
Okay.
Okay. Then, for instance, what if I want to go for the beginning of the year? April, March, January. So if I want to do so far this year analysis,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I should go from first one to last one. And here is my existing consumption, and there's my forecast. But normally people wants to see it right in that way, in the aggregated way. Okay, so that's how it works. But now here, what you can do is to compare versus budget 2016 and check if you fit the target or not.
I see.
Okay, so the problem here is that it seems that on 14th December, if you don't do something with your consumption, you will over exceed your budget. And so you have 15 days to make some improvements.
Okay.
Okay. And you can compare this to with cost. Okay. So with cost, it's literally different because maybe your projected purchasing price, it's been lower than the real purchasing price. Okay. And here you have the statistical effect, right? So you should be, so your real consumption plus forecast, it's about 3 million euros. Your budget for 2016 was 3.5 million. Okay, so here you have a difference. So you are in positive. So you don't have to worry.
Well, that's a really easy way to get a snapshot.
Exactly, it's a really easy way. Correct. Then, for instance, you can go for the next year, right? So taking the budget from November this year to November next year. Okay. We want to use monthly consumption, right? And this is, again, I take out this budget 2017, but I put in place the Horizon 2020, 2017, just in order to see if I will hit the target or not. Okay, so here it's a monthly view of it. So as the time goes, I will have 12 different bars here. It's from November this year until November next year. So it's from here to 12 months forecast, okay? And I see that there are some months that I will be below the line that, for instance, those ones, but in many months I will be over the forecast, okay? So if I want to hit the targets for the Horizon 2020 inside my company, then I have to start looking for initiatives to reduce my energy, okay? And I can see that in aggregated mode, the forecast says that I will be over the targets.
Overall, yeah, it looks like.
Exactly. And that's all more or less. So that's the demonstration of the application. It's very easy to use it. I don't know where it is here. It's very, very easy to use it. There is a support case explaining people how to use it.
I can find that on the support?
On the support website, right? And play it. I mean, just log into our demonstration, take the Brussels building, for instance, and start playing with it. On 1st December 2016, the final release will be in place.
Okay, and I can start using my own data.
Your own data, exactly. So as a recap, what are the problems that the application is solving, right? So the first one is to have an automated process to calculate forecasting.
Right.
Okay, this is so important. Then instead of using basic approaches, use an advanced approach based on time series.
No more averages.
No more averages. Exactly. Then know how much you are going to consume by the end of the month, quarter, or year. This is important, especially if you are an ESCO company.
Yeah.
Okay. Prepare budgets for next year, important for the controllers.
Right.
Okay. And compare the forecast with your budget, goals, and targets, and take decisions in advance. So if I can see today that I'm not going to hit the targets for the Horizon 2020 2017, then I have 6 months to start making some decisions.
That's right, and taking steps to make sure I get there.
Exactly.
Great.
And well, that's all, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Danny. It's really, really great to get to know the forecasting app. We're really excited to try it and to have it going live on the 1st of December. Now we have a little bit of time to take some of your questions. So if you want to just go to the chat box here that you see and type in the questions directly, and maybe you had some from before that we'll check out. We'll look into those and answer them now. And if we don't get to all of them, then we'll be sure to send you an email with those. So now I just wanted to, while we're waiting for the questions to come in, let you know about this special offer that we have for our partners, for the best thing about, one of the best things, there are many good things, about being part of Dexma's Global Partner Network is that we offer discounts, and as you know, this Friday is Black Friday, a month before Christmas, and we're offering Dexgate 2 and Socomac DigiWare for 50% off. You just have to use the code that you see there, Black Friday, in the partner intranet, online.dexmatech.com, and Danny is going to tell you why this is such an amazing deal.
Yeah, well, it's an amazing deal for our partners, so that's a show of love to them.
We love our partners.
We love our partners. So in fact, if you are thinking to buy a Dexgate 2, which is a gateway with full of many integrations, okay, the normal price is $440, and now it's 50% off, so it's $220.
Wow.
And the same with Dexgate 2 3G, right? So if you want to go through 3G connection, so through 3G connection, right? So the normal price is $640, and now you have it for $370. So it's 50%. It's amazing. And then we have made an agreement with Socomac, which is one of the best hardware brands in Europe. That they build their hardware in Europe, so it's very good hardware for that. So if you get the kit, so the our gateway plus his Socomac hardware for 3 meters, so you can monitor the main load, the HVAC, and the lighting, for instance, so 3 different meters for that. Then the price goes from 1,500 euros to 767.
That's a great deal.
That's 800 euros almost saving. That you can purchase at the Dexel account for that amount.
For example, right? You can use that savings to become part of our network and get great deals like this.
This is especially for our partners, especially for the Black Friday until November 27th.
That's right.
Okay. So now let's go and check the questions, right?
Let's check it out.
Let's see what people is asking here. Whoa.
Wow. Oh, wow. Lots of questions.
Thanks for that. There is a question saying, I'm around 30, I'm too young to use it.
Never too young or too old to use Dexel or forecasting.
The examples was about people around 40s, right? So maybe that's why he's asking about this. No, it's being built for to be very simple, right? So that's the main objective of the forecasting application, as all the other applications that we develop at Dexmo. So I think that you could use it even if you are 80s or 90s, right? So that's an
or 25.
Or 25 as well. Does the app tell somewhere if the variable is relevant to the model? Not right now, okay? So the application, it doesn't gives you any logging, okay, about how the model was being calculated.
And if it decides to get rid of a variable, it won't let you know it yet.
It doesn't tell you. Why is that? Well, first of all, because as many new things as you want to have, then it's much more development. What I want to do is people test the application and start working with their own information. And then as any other application inside Dexma, we iterate.
Of course.
Every time we iterate it and we improve it.
Okay.
However, as an engineers, we always like to have it everything. But the point here is that you have to scale. And you have to rely in a platform that it's being processing your data and performing calculations for you.
So it's like the beta version, no? It's the first version of the app, and it will be iterated over time.
Exactly. It's not a beta because it's an official release. So beta would be maybe previous to that. But so it's an official and it's full working version. But as this is software, and software in 90s maybe was in a CD that you could install. This is totally different, you know. So you go to the cloud and every day you can have new features.
Great.
Is there a way to display forecast that has been calculated before the present day? Well, what we do is to make an hybrid, so a virtual data point of the hybrid of the real consumption plus the forecasting consumption.
Okay.
So the forecasting is there. So if you go to queries or you go to buy device options inside Dexel, you will see it how the forecast was yesterday. But inside the application, what we do is as new day we have with real consumption, we show the real consumption, not the forecast anymore.
Okay. So but on the present day will be the real.
Exactly. Then there is another one. Could you put this forecasting in a report, such as consumption tile?
Or maybe time, maybe consumption time.
Or
well, basically,
consumption one, maybe,
yeah.
right? So not yet. That's something that we have to improve, but I would like to get the feedback first from our partners. So what kind of reporting? Because the applications now, they can have their own reports.
Right.
Okay, this is something that we launched during last 3 months. Mm-hmm. So if when I meet with my partners, then we will decide what kind of reporting is the best fit for the forecasting tool.
So it's coming.
It's coming. Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Then there's a lot of questions
Nicolas
today.
has a lot of questions. Nicolas is on fire.
Is there a way to display forecast that has no? That's the one that we have answered before.
Oh, okay. It could be interesting to compare forecasts with real consumption in order to be able to detect that. What else? The last one there.
Is there? It could be interesting to compare forecasts with real consumption in order to be able to detect that the
model I built wasn't to verify the model.
Exactly. No, and
the accuracy.
And this is fair to do it, but not inside the forecasting application. Okay. So the forecasting application is to aggregate the total consumption. So the real one plus the forecast.
Right.
Okay. But you can do it into the queries, for instance, into the queries options that we have. Then, there's here a guy who's asking about how becoming partner of Dexma. Nicole, you could maybe...
So becoming a partner to get it, for example, to take advantage of our Black Friday promotion is really easy. You can check our partners page on dexceltech.com, and there you will see a form. You just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get in touch with you, and you can just, as easy as 1,000 euros for the first month, and get involved in our partner network.
And there is another partner, so a already existing partner asking about how many units he can purchase for the Black Friday offer.
Right.
The point here is that we have no limit on that, so go there and buy as many as you
can buy as many Dexgate 2s as I want.
And as well with the Socomec kits,
amazing,
which is a really, really good offer. Mm-hmm. So we are fully open. We have our stock warehouse full of Dexgate 2. Mm-hmm. So go there and pick them.
So as we're almost out of time, I see a few more questions, but we'll pass those to Denny and he'll answer them for you offline, and we'll get the rest, make sure those questions are answered for you. Thank you guys so much for attending the webinar. And make sure that you come on December 1st, not only to start using the forecasting app, but also to learn more about optimizing your gas and thermal sources. So on the same time, on December 1st, register so that you won't forget, and we will be so excited to talk to you again then.
Exactly. Basically, we'll be working on the hardware solutions to monitor gas, which is not always simple, and then as well how to track and how to analyze gas and thermal inside the platform.
Great. Okay. So we're looking forward to that one, and thank you so much, Danny, for joining us today.
Thank you so much, guys, for being there today. Thanks.
See you soon.